Tanto returned from the war.
There's a week to go before students at Deanfield School near Reading perform Much Ado About Nothing for the Shakespeare Schools Festival at their local theatre.
Please, sir, do not mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war between Signor Benedict and her.
In charge of rehearsals is English teacher and first-time director Carol Horner. This programme looks at how the hopes of higher Shakespeare grades are resting on a greater use of drama strategies. Helping Carol take the play from page to stage is head of drama, Pip Shaw.
I'm going to guess that these are curtains, and they're open. Work with me.
Watching Pip work has given Carol an unexpected insight into her own teaching methods.
I'm very aware now of not telling students what to think about a character and of finding it themselves. And that's what Pip's taught me. I have in the past said, oh, he says this because he feels this way, and now I let them just find it out themselves. So we act out the scene, and they tell me how they feel and how they think they should say the line. So they get much more of an empathy with the character.
Checking up on progress is English consultant Frances Gregory. She's working with teachers to help students sitting their Key Stage 3 Shakespeare paper up their game.
We saw that they weren't getting the grades they needed because they weren't doing enough language analysis, and they weren't thinking about the play in performance. They were very much thinking about the play as a story and as a text they'd read in class, and they knew about the characters and they knew about the plot, but they weren't so good at analysing the language. Approaches that have been taken to that problem is to actually concentrate on that language in the play as a written text. And a good way out of that problem is to concentrate on the play as a play for performance.
This was Signor Benedict that said so. Who's he? Why, he's the Prince's jester, a very dull fool whose only gift is in devising impossible slanders.
The key scenes for Much Ado are a gift for these drama strategies because the two key scenes involve conflict, and particularly between Beatrice and Benedict. Students can associate with that conflict between male and female, and the language is wonderfully critical, and they enjoy insulting each other as they're speaking those lines.
Is it possible that disdain should die while she hath such food to feed it as Signor Benedict?
See what I love no woman?
A dear happiness to women. I would rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
Now, one of the set scenes is one we've...
Today, Carol is teaching Much Ado About Nothing to her Level 4 Year 9 students. Using drama strategies, her aim is to show them what light the language sheds on the play's main characters.
Who, first of all, are the characters? Hands up, yeah.
Beatrice and Benedict.
Beatrice and Benedict, as Aidan says. Beatrice and Benedict. Now, I want you to have a look at all those 4 freeze frames, and I want you to think, what sort of conversation are they having? What do they look like they're doing there?
It looks like they're having an argument because of their expressions.
So who do you think's got the power there? Who's in charge in that scene?
Beatrice.
Why do you think she's in charge?
Because she's got her hand up to him.
Because she's got her hand up to him?
Yeah.
What's he doing with his hands?
Oh, it looks like he's bound to her.
How are these actors portraying this scene? And part of our lesson today is we're going to have a freeze frame moment where we will be acting out the scene. If you were producing this scene, what sort of mask would you like your characters to wear? Now, you can choose either Beatrice or Benedict. Would you like them to be very elaborate? Or would you like them to be quite simple? Or would you like a handheld mask? If they think about staging of Much Ado About Nothing, you need to think about how people are dressed and how people stand. So the idea of the masks is that they can think about what their character is trying to present to the audience. Okay, leave your mask in front of you, just looking at it. We're going to read through the scene together, just so that we get some sort of feel for it. All right? And we're going to try and decide how these characters feel when they're saying their lines.
Lest I should prove them other fools, I have brought Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
How then sick?
Neither, my lord.
What I want you to do is highlight just one phrase out of that scene, and I'd like you to write it under your picture. How do you think your character would say those lines? Would they say them gently or angrily? Or would they say them wistfully or sarcastically? So have a practice between the two of you how that character would say that line.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Senor Benedict.
Sick or sad or merry.
When students read Shakespeare, the first thing they say to you is that the language is really difficult and I don't understand what they mean, and the poetry is so difficult, and what are all these images for? What are they trying to say? Whereas if you give them a line to say over again in different voices, in different ways, they suddenly find that there is a way of saying the line that means something to them and that they can interpret into an action. So to give them ownership of the line helps them enormously. The idea now is to have a freeze frame moment. Your character is saying the lines to who? So one of you is going to be the character delivering the lines, and one of you is going to be the character receiving the lines. How would you feel?
Speak now, 'tis your cue.
3, 2, 1, freeze in that moment. Everybody, just what sort of expression could Claudio have? Look, Claudio needs to look towards the audience, I think, so that we can see his face. Speak now, 'tis your cue. So, 'tis your cue, 'tis your time to speak. So, could you be thinking about what it is you could be saying, maybe? The purpose of this activity is to reinforce what that character is feeling at that moment and what it is they're trying to get over to the audience or to the other character, and how the other character is feeling at this line. So the whole exercise works very well with all groups because they're able to visualise the feelings and emotions of the characters. Girls, have you got any suggestions of how they could play this scene? What is it you're trying to portray?
Like a love scene, so they've got to be quite close and stuff. So.
I want them not to just look at character as something flat. I want it to be three-dimensional. So what happens a lot with Year 9 students is that they look at a line in Shakespeare and they don't use it to interact with other characters. They don't think about what that character is trying to portray to another character or how other characters are going to react to what's been said. So that's my aim, is to gel the thing together so that not only are they saying the line for themselves as actors, but what it is they're trying to portray to another actor and how that other actor will react to the line.
Indeed, my lord, I lent it to him a while, and I give him use for it, a double heart for his single one.
Our task today is to try and understand how Beatrice is feeling about Benedict. How do we know what she feels about him? What is she saying about her heart? What did she do with it?
She gave it to him.
She gave it to Benedict. And in what way did he give his love back, do you think, when she says?
He only gave back half the love.
He only gave back half the love. How do we know that?
Because she says, I gave him a double one.
So she gave a double for his single. The purpose of this particular exercise is to help them construct a paragraph that flows, that they've used quotation in, that they've used some idea of the how and the why a character says something. It's not so strictly structured as a PEE paragraph that we used to use quite regularly, but it still helps their writing if they can construct something that shows why the character says what they do.
It just feels angry. It shows this in the text by saying he won me with false dice. It also shows he's a fake and does not care about her or other people.
I think you showed really good understanding of the character and what she's feeling at this precise moment. So going back to how we started the lesson, have we got any more understanding of what these characters are feeling in these stills?
Yeah, I understand how she feels because of the way she's standing and like she looks sarcastic and he's like telling her to be quiet.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue.
But are these drama strategies enough on their own?
It's not only going to be about drama strategies, because following the drama strategies, we still have to teach children how to craft a good response in the test. We've still got to teach them good writing skills. But their knowledge of the play is so much more informed if they've had an opportunity of being on their feet, speaking the lines, being the characters, trying out the scenes in different ways, and thinking as actors do about the play, rather than thinking about themselves as students studying the play because they've got to do a test in it.
Certainly, this new emphasis on drama strategies looks like it's already reaping results.
Because I knew the West Berkshire were focusing on Shakespeare this year for Year 9s, I thought I would implement similar strategies with Year 10 with their coursework, which was Taming of the Shrew. So Year 10s produced the play, they produced set scenes, they had freeze frames, and they had stage direction. They did all of this themselves, and the writing was truly amazing that came from this. And they said that they wrote so well because they felt confident that they understood what they were saying. And I'm hoping that the Year 9 will feel just as confident when they come to write about Shakespeare.
The Theatre Royal at Newbury, and it's the night of the performance. Emotions are running high.
Thank you. I'm trying not to look at you. Go on and do it. Will your grace command me any service to the world's end?
Will you not tell me? Who told you so?
No, you must forgive me. I shall tell him what you say.
Do.
5 months of hard slog looks like finally paying off.
Absolutely brilliant. They loved it, didn't they? And I felt they knew what they were saying, which is great. Yeah, really lively.
I nearly cried at the end, actually. I was so excited by their performance and their enthusiasm.
It's like having a baby. You forget the agonies and go in for it next year. So, but no, it was wonderful.